And we are live.
Oh, is that right?
Senoritas.
Senoritas, huh?
There we go.
Senoritos.
Oh.
It's older Doritos.
I'd like to thank our
The
two
Academy.
viewers. 3 viewers. Hey, what's up, guys? Tell your
What is
friends
up?
we're on. And,
We're on one today. That is indeed true. Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
true that.
Let's see.
And Andre is not here to witness it. You know, he's
Andre
just,
is not here. You're right.
just being a big
Yeah,
old
he is.
bummerino.
He's at work.
What a bummer.
Work sucks.
Yeah, well. Let's see.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wait, you guys don't like Blink 182?
Oh, I do. I had a feeling you were going to do it, and you did.
Yep. There you go.
Wow,
mean, I'm not-
wait.
I'm not gonna not do it.
We're not. We don't
There
wait
it
here.
goes.
You either come prepared or you don't come at all. That's how it works.
Uh-oh.
Oh wait, hold on.
Dawson's like, what does that mean?
My gosh. Okay, let's just go ahead and
My
get
virgin
this
ears
started,
can't
shall we?
handle that.
Been married for 5 years, buddy.
What's up,
Heyo.
everybody? Thank you for joining us for another 4Nerds Live. That's right, you're catching us live in the flesh
On the that's kind of
on the interwebs.
in the flesh on the interwebs.
I mean, it's not wrong. We're in the flesh. We're live. It is
kind of
what it is.
gross, you know.
What's the matter? You don't like
It's another
flesh?
Wednesday, just a typical Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. We're here to hang out. We don't have Andre with us today.
No, we do not.
I'm sure he'll
Heaven.
pop in somewhere. He can't.
He'll be on
he
his drive
can't not
home.
be
He'll
here.
chime in.
The minute someone mentions like James Gunn or a controversy, he will pop the fuck in. I promise you.
Honestly,
And
you're not wrong.
I'm not even saying that to be a dick. It's just like he pops in when there's a massive controversy or when there's something massive to talk about. It's just the nature of Andre.
I can't argue with that. There's nothing to argue with that. He's definitely attracted to it like a moth to a flame.
Or maybe an ambulance.
Ooh, I can't go there. I can't go there. No,
Those out there don't know what we're
Yeah,
talking about. That's
I was like, I was almost gonna say something. I was like, oh no.
Andre knows
Can't
I
do
mean
it.
that with nothing but love.
It's like that clip from what is it called? Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Oh my gosh.
Correct.
Yes, all the love to Andre. We love him. I'm gonna turn off this really fast. I was gonna start drawing a little bit, but I realized I'm gonna be too distracted. But I'm gonna sit down and talk a little bit here today.
What is there to talk about today, Don? X-Men 97.
Got
I
Great
I
Ninja
have not
Cast
seen
Drama.
that. I understand that.
I'm
from
alone.
Andre's Stream.
Oh, I'm
It was
alone. I'm alone. I'm the only one who's seen X-Men. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we're not worried about being spoiled. I don't think. At least I'm not.
I heard it was good, so I don't want to be spoiled if it was really good. So
I guess that's true. I've seen clips from it actually.
Okay. Without spoiling anything, I will just say that the last 5 to 10 minutes, some really cool shit happens, and you see some really cool characters who don't say a word, but you see them, and you're like, "Oh fuck, oh fuck."
I've seen the clip for that. That
Yeah,
one
yeah, yeah.
you're
I haven't
referring
seen
to.
that, but
It's,
yeah,
it's,
okay.
It's cool. It's cool. Like
Okay.
it's super cool.
He did say that this universe feels, or I guess he got from this episode that the universe feels like it's not connected to the Deadpool movie or
No.
the universe in general.
No.
Okay.
No, I would actually say it. If anything, it is absolutely connected to the animated universe they had way back when in the 90s. So you figure you've got X-Men, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, all of that is absolutely, at least to me, after what I just witnessed here, is absolutely canon to this show. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind about that now, especially after. Oh, come on. Really? Someone in the chat's just fucking. Okay, cool. Like, all right. Yeah, they were in it and it was cool. Like, but Ryan doesn't want to be spoiled. So
It's okay.
Thank you.
It's okay. I didn't read it.
Yeah.
I did. I'm
I
drawing.
won't bring that one up.
I'm not
Jimmy
gonna look at
Battleski
that.
says X-Men is the best TV show Marvel has produced next to Loki.
I
So
agree.
far from what I've seen, absolutely true.
Yes.
Droga here saying X-Men 97 was amazing.
Oh, nice.
Hunter asking what the Green Lantern drama is. We'll get to that. It's nothing like
yeah,
crazy.
I'd like to know what the drama is. Is there drama?
I mean,
People are making it dramatic. It's just more like
Would it have to do with
clarification.
Nathan Fillion?
Yeah.
It
Just
does.
clarification on what's going on there.
Okay.
Jimmy also says the cameo camels were A+. I'm assuming you meant cameos.
No, the camels were great.
Ooh, there's camels.
There's camels, and they
I'm
were
sold.
awesome.
What's up, Sean? Hey, let us know if you want to join on today.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
did
us
Andre
know.
send you a link? He said he was going to. If not, just let us know. We'll give you one.
If not,
Yeah.
then he lied.
He lied. Liar. In fact, let me just go ahead and send this to my man just in case.
Liar. Unless
Send
you're
that
busy
your
and
way.
can't join, then that's totally
Right. Either way.
Yeah.
We got Q, our favorite dentist.
What's
His
up, man?
nerds. What's up, man? We got a super chat clip to play for you here real
Oh,
quick. He says, nerds.
Nice. Yeah, in Ogre's voice.
What's
are
up
nerds.
again? What's up,
We
man?
are
What's
nerds.
up? Thing here. Hopefully, Daredevil Born Again will do just as well. I'm hoping so too.
I
hope
have
so
no doubt in
too.
my mind. I'm not worried about Daredevil at all.
I was at first, but now I'm not. Now that they've like brought things back in and like are fixing what they should have done in the first place, I'm not worried about it at all either. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Kevin Feige is doing to Daredevil what he should have done to Thor.
Mhm.
He looked at what worked for Daredevil, saw what was happening, and went, no, bring back the Netflix continuity, bring back someone who worked on a Netflix project, bring back
Mhm.
people who are in this Netflix continuity for the show,
Mhm.
and do something that is in line with Netflix. Whereas he went with Thor and went, oh, Taika Waititi, here you go, free reign.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
No one's perfect, okay? Like there's no doubt in my mind that no matter what or who you are, doesn't matter, Hollywood executive, whatever, he is the most successful executive producer / studio head to date. There's no doubt about that, but no one's perfect. You are going to make mistakes somewhere down the line. I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
The man made Iron Man 3. He produced Iron Man 3, and that movie was
all right.
Ish. Sure.
Ish.
If you like Shane Black, more power to you.
He was good in Predator.
Which one? The first one? Okay, I was going to say because
the only good one.
The new one is not good.
I haven't seen the new one.
Okay, no. Let me take that.
remake.
Let me take that back. Prey is good. The one before
Yes.
that he made is not good.
Right.
Oh yeah, with the 8-foot Predator.
Yes.
I still haven't seen that.
It's just not fun. And Thomas Jane is in the movie. Like, I love Thomas Jane. I've seen Thomas Jane in a couple different things. He's in that movie, and it's bad. It's not good. It's bad. It's a slog of a watch.
I think they should, and this I might be alone here, but I think that they should revisit the AVP, but just like make it serious.
Oh no,
make it
You're
serious.
not alone. You're not alone. I think
both
that's
movies
right.
sucked in their own right.
The second movie's main problem is that it was just too darkly lit and you couldn't see a dang thing.
It had story issues as well that I just couldn't.
That's
get
true.
along with. It was
amazing.
just
One of them
wasn't.
was PG-13. The first one.
With the girl in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which like that was an interesting idea. Like I remember the trailers when it came out for that movie, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting
it was a
premise.
very interesting idea.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. Very, I love the connected universe and all that. Ever since the Danny Glover movie kind of showed you, oh hey, look, the xenomorph head is in there. Yeah, it's like really cool. And I was like, okay, as long as you guys do something, they shouldn't have. And I'm getting tired. And that was the only good thing about Predators was that it was not on Earth.
Yes.
I actually really enjoyed Predators.
Predators is underrated.
Predators was Predator remake just with different people. It's
Sure,
the same fucking movie, just
it's
a
underrated.
slightly different situation.
I had
It's
no problem
underrated.
with that. It was fun.
It had a fun
But their
cast, too.
Predators at the end were really cool. They weren't 8 foot, but they were bigger. And I was like, oh, that's cool. There's Predators that are like a bigger class than the regular Predator. I was like, that's pretty cool.
It took the concept of Predator and put it on a different planet. And I think that's serviceable enough for what you wanted to achieve. But I do think that criticism that you mentioned gets thrown around a little too much. Not saying that you're saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying like that is the overarching one that I think a lot of people had a problem with when it came to that movie.
Right.
You know, it is what it is. You can't take it back. But like in terms of other Predator films, it goes Predator, Predator 2, Predators, that pile, that fucking Shane Black made, The Predator or whatever, and then Prey. I mean, you could probably slot Prey probably somewhere in between 1, 2, if not like right after 2, depending on how you feel, because it is a period piece.
Prey was just a really good fanfic. I thought it was really cool. It was entertaining. I was like, ooh, Native American. And I think we said this before. I would love them to tackle different parts of the world.
I think that's how you do
different time periods.
Yeah, I think
how
that's
did
exactly
they
how
did they handle it back in the samurai days or whatever, right? That would have been cool.
I think that's how you do that.
There's a video where a guy breaks down what a Predator movie in samurai times would have gone down. And it's an amazing story. Like how there's a predator training a younger predator, and it mirrors like the main character that's human training a younger samurai. And then it all goes down from there. Like, it's really awesome. But real quick, let's bring on our good friend, Nerd Cosa Nostra. What's up, man?
What's up? What's up? I knew it. I knew that Andre missed the mark.
He lied. He's a liar.
He just wants to keep you on his show. He's like, you're an exclusive to Nickatina.
Yeah. You can only talk about X-Men on my channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we didn't get done last night until
1 o'clock.
Say 1 o'clock, after 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, dang. Ooh. That'd have been probably 3 o'clock my time. Is that why Andre's asking if I was still awake? Was he wanting me to join?
I woke up right as they were starting, but I watched the episode, then hopped in on what they were talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Because I can't do the whole watch and talk thing. I just can't. It's unless I've seen it before. Yeah. Then I can like chime into the conversation. But if it's something fresh and new, then I have to like pay the fuck attention.
Yeah, that's fair. Droger here saying, also, Dawson, weren't you featured in one of Zach's and recent tweets? I was.
Oh, nice.
And that is about as much as I can say about that, unfortunately.
Yep.
You were featured, but you can't say that you were featured?
Well, I can't talk about the subject matter.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Is it Rebel Moon?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I thought once they released the images and footage, you were able to talk about it.
You and me both, buddy.
Oh, wow.
You and me both.
What can you do?
He has to wait until Rebel Moon 4, 5, and 6 are released.
Do you think they're waiting until the R-rated cuts are out before they go full hog on what you can talk about?
I'd have to go back and look at the NDA that I signed. But
well, that would make sense if there were things you guys were exposed to that weren't in these cuts and would be.
He also has to give away his firstborn.
He has to give his firstborn. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I can't really talk about that, but that was really cool to be featured in that. That was really awesome.
Can we chime in on it? Are we allowed to? I mean, we know you're not, but can we just like?
Yeah, they said I'm not allowed to be on podcasts talking about it.
Oh, so you got?
Well, I say we just don't talk about it. Just any potential issues.
I'll just say it was cool to see our friends in a video on a movie set. That's all. Yes. That's all I really want.
Like, I can share the video. Like, I'll post the video that Zach shared to the channel because that's what I'm allowed to do. I just can't talk about the video or.
Well, then let's have a look at the video. Let's check that out. I haven't seen it. I don't even know it exists.
I thought I shared it with you guys. Hold on.
I mean, well, remember Ryan doesn't really go on Twitter that much anymore.
I do not go on Twitter. I do not go there.
I'm not on there at all.
Instagram only.
Yeah, but I'll share it on the channel. I'll play it there because I'm allowed to do that. They said you can post it on your channels. I just can't like put commentary to it and talk about the situation around it. Just know that I'm featured a lot in it. I have.
Well, you're huge.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, like they can't miss you. They're like, and Chewbacca's on set.
He's literally the tallest person that was there. Well, of the artists that were there, he's the tallest one.
Oh yeah, by far. I got another super chat here from Q. Real quick, another explosion. A Predator versus Moses. That would be epic.
Sure.
I mean, it wouldn't be a very good fight. I mean,
it'd be pretty quick.
Yeah, it'd be very, very quick, honestly.
He's like, oh, the Predator drowned.
Cortez says Dawson Sheen called. He wants a shirt back. Heck yeah, he does. But it's mine. Ultra Lord, baby. Love it. Let's see. But yeah. So with that, I guess we can kind of go into X-Men 97, like give your general thoughts since both Ryan and I haven't seen yet, and Ryan doesn't want to be spoiled. So
I would
Well, it's
prefer not. I mean, if there's stuff that's like in it that's like not spoiler-ish, go right ahead, you know.
yeah, I definitely just want to hear what Phil and Sean have to say about this latest episode, like quality-wise, something like, yeah. What were your guys' thoughts on this episode? I guess we can start with, Sean first.
I thought it was a great way to start off because it's no secret. It's a 3-part finale. This was part 1. It was a great way to start it off. A lot of surprises. I mean, it was pretty action-packed, so it didn't disappoint. I know there was a brief mention of various cameos. There are various cameos. I won't mention who those cameos are. They are quick, and you would hope it leads to something, but part of me tells me they're just cameos to kind of bring the broader story together as far as the perspective of the world that this is happening in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I hope they don't lose the momentum of this part 1 into the final 2 parts of the finale. I hope the momentum keeps building. It definitely feels like they're going to leave you in the last part, part 3, as a big cliffhanger. I feel like there's going to be a big cliffhanger, and then everyone's going to be like, "Oh my gosh, when are we going to get season 2?" To see how this plays out. Yeah, it's definitely if you haven't watched it yet, highly recommend watching this one. But obviously, if you've been watching the full season, you'll eventually watch it. So yeah, it didn't disappoint one bit.
Awesome. How about you, Phil?
I'm gonna echo everything Sean said. For a first part of a 3-part finale, I think it sets the stage well. It was a good episode. It was definitely on the higher end of things, that they've done. I'm not gonna give it, the same caliber as like episode 2 or 5. 2, 3, or 5, because obviously those episodes are massive standouts for some pretty obvious reasons. I mean, obviously the second episode had that awesome Magneto speech. The third episode was a straight up Inferno adaptation, more or less, and then episode 5 was the attack on Genosha, Gambit sacrifice, etc., etc. This one, I think, would be in that conversation, but in the next level below it. Like, it is of that. Not quite that great tier, but not like God tier, like those 3 episodes I just mentioned. Like, if you want me to like break down which ones are ranked, this one would be after those 4, if you ask me, because there's some shit that happens in this episode that, not only sets the stage, but also you get a lot of questions answered in terms of, Bastion, in terms of Magneto, in terms of other characters. Like there are just certain questions that are absolutely answered by the end of this episode, but it also again sets the stage for the rest of the last 2 episodes for the finale to roll out. There was some really solid action there with Cable and Cyclops and Jean, and even also there's some really great action between Nightcrawler, Wolverine, and Morph. Like, matter of fact, morphs into one character I'm not going to say never, but I was like, oh, that's cool. He morphs into like a fucking huge character, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see the way that, because the thing with Morph the entire season, he's been changing into these different mutants that you'll be like, oh, Magic, oh, Quicksilver, oh, Archangel. Like, it's one of those again where you're just like, oh, fuck. It's really awesome. And then, like, to Sean's point about the cameos, I can remember 5 off the top of my head, but someone said there's like 7 or 8.
Yeah, I would say, definitely 7 or 8. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
One of them is pretty big and blatant. Like, it is.
It's
straight up in your face. There's no denying who this character is. There's actually 2 more that are very heavily tied to X-Men where you're like, oh, fuck. Like, I didn't at all expect to see them, but they're absolutely there. Yeah. And the episode ends as per usual with each episode. I want to watch the next one. Yep. I would give it like a solid 9 out of 10, and that's really been the par for the course for me for this show. Like, I don't really think there's been a bad episode, so to speak. I think there have been good episodes, there have been great episodes, and then there have been, oh my fuck, this is amazing episodes.
Yeah. For me, episode 4 was again. That I looked at episode 4, especially the half of the episode when
filler.
it's filler, right?
It's
So
filler,
that one
right.
definitely fell right into, I don't want to say bottom tier, but okay, this is good. I'm not as excited about this episode, but I rightfully so. It was part of that episode was necessary for the story.
It was definitely like, you know, you can tell that they're giving individual mutants time to shine, and that episode was absolutely Jubilee's time to shine.
Jubilee's episode, yeah, correct.
And it also, you know, opened the door for Storm to get her powers back in Life Death Part 1, and then they juxtaposed Life Death Part 2 with Xavier and the Shi'ar Empire and all that shit. And it's like those two episodes are good, and that's the thing. That's just it. The barometer goes from good to fucking amazing. There's not a bad episode at all of the 8 episodes that are currently on Disney Plus.
Like even the one where it's like where Jubilee and Sunspot like get stuck in a video game, like even that one where it's like kind of weird.
Yeah, that's episode 4.
Still
that's episode 4.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like it's still pretty fun. Like I agree with you 100% on that.
I mean, I was glad to see that they were able to bring that villain into the fold, like they've done. I think a lot of other villains, because as I was mentioning to Andre, a lot of these you wouldn't see in live action. And if you did see these in live action, the CGI, the special effects would be so, I don't know if they would put enough care into it to say, wow, this looks clean. You would be, oh, the CGI looks horrible. Why even bring these characters into it? Obviously, with the animation, you have that flexibility to bring all these characters into the fold. And I think they've done very well. They haven't, it doesn't feel like they've overdone the villain category here. When they keep bringing new villains in or new characters in, it made sense for the story, and it carried along with the story.
Yeah.
So they've done it pretty cleanly.
Yeah, I think to Sean's point, say like if they did someone like Motendo in live action, and say it was done by the typical Fox crew, because for the longest time the X-Men were under the Fox banner, right? So then that automatically falls under the category of like Laura Schuler-Donner, Simon Kinberg, to some lesser extent Matthew Vaughn, and more or less Bryan Singer when he's actually on set. And I'm kind of with Sean in that, had say those individuals been in the hands of bringing characters like Motendo or what's another villain, Sinister. Or even Bastion to life, right? Like it would have been a departure. It would have been a take. It would have been a vastly different take. I mean, for crying out loud, look at what they did to Apocalypse with Oscar Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
vastly different interpretation of the character than what everyone was accustomed to, right? Mm-hmm. Or even, kind of botching the Dark Phoenix storyline twice in a decade.
Yep.
So when it comes to animation, it's a lot easier to get these really big, larger than life characters the reverence they actually do deserve. And I think that having Bastion be, and I'm not at all familiar with the character of Bastion. When he was when he was revealed to be the big bad of the season, I was like, I have absolutely no fucking clue who this character is. Google search, looked him up, and I was like, oh, he's terrifying. This character is absolutely a legitimate threat to the X-Men. I don't know how I've in all the years of reading and consuming X-Men stuff, how has this one character been out of sight for me?
And in some storylines, he's considered their biggest adversary, and their biggest villain.
Right. You've got Omega Red, you've got Sinister, you've got Apocalypse, you've got fucking Magneto, right? Like you've got a ton of other villains that are typically in the fold, but this is one that was completely just way over my head. I was like, I have no fucking clue.
Well, it took a lot of people by surprise when he finally showed up in that in the episode 7 at the very end. A lot of people had no idea who that character was just because they couldn't place them.
According to Bo DeMaio, go back and watch the rest of the season. He's there. Like he's in Genosha when the attack happens. He's in that crowd of people in the fucking gala.
That's
from what I understand. Yeah, I'm going to rewatch the entire series once it's all out again, just so I can get it all in one through. He might be in the 3rd episode too. I don't know, but I'm going to go back and watch and see exactly where he is now that I know what he looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very curious to see that character evolve. And it's kind of an interesting character too, because he's basically like a mix between Master Mold and Nimrod. And I'm like, oh, so he's like a straight up.
And he has the same tech virus in him that
Cable
has.
Right.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, I just hope they don't lose the momentum going into the last 2 episodes, and even in season 2. Even though the creator had a hand in season 2, I know we're a ways off from season 2. I just don't want someone stepping in and saying, "Oh, well, let's make some changes now," because that's just what we do. We make changes, and then it loses the appeal that this season has, and then into season 2. But Marvel and Disney should probably take a step back and say, wow, this season is working well. The fans are responding. Now, how can we replicate this in a way where we can get them just as excited in other avenues or other IPs that we're doing? And I think
My understanding,
simple. Tell a great story, take risk, and look at your source material. It's that simple.
It's funny because I think Bodemayo even mentioned like one of the episodes was influenced by a script he did for a sequel to, I think, the first or second X-Men movie. I think it might have even been the 7th episode, but I'm like, if that guy made a fucking script of a TV show based on the X-Men, based off a script he made for the movie, I'm just like, fuck, give him the X-Men movie. I don't care if they fired him, bring him back. Let him write the fucking X-Men as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Crazier things have happened.
They did bring back James.
And of course, they were, I won't say what scene is, but of course now I'm sure I'm not sure if it's been going on around on Instagram, but I know it has on Twitter, another Man of Steel reference in the episode.
I feel like
I won't say what it is just because Dawson and Ryan haven't seen it.
Right.
But once you see it, it will click. It's pretty obvious.
DM me because I'm trying to remember what it is and I don't remember what it is. DM me on Instagram because I'm trying to remember. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't quite remember because I watched it at fucking midnight when it dropped. And it's been, 15 hours.
And Phil cannot remember.
Nope. Old age. It's getting to me. It's totally getting to me.
Oh, man.
You have a rude awakening ahead of you, buddy.
I do.
Oh, my gosh.
I do. I really do.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm excited that it's continuing to be a fantastic show as it has been the entire time that it's been airing. It's just been, again, for me, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's just been really refreshing to feel this excited about a Marvel property again, because I hadn't felt that in a long while. I mean,
it's their best reviewed Marvel project since Loki, at least season 2, I think.
Yeah.
So it lives up to the hype. I know a lot of people were kind of skeptical about the animation, but the animation honestly is like one of the best parts about it.
Yeah.
All right, Phil, I just sent it to you.
Okay. Let's see.
And Hunter, and I know you had asked this question, but I don't know what source that is.
Yep. That's what it is. You're right.
Yep, that's the scene.
Yep, that is.
Hunter here saying, Dawson, what are your thoughts on Kevin Feige wants an all-female focus on his live-action X-Men? I don't know what source that comes from, so like I don't know. I don't
buy that in the slightest.
Yeah, I don't buy it either. Like you would have to exclude some of your most popular X-Men characters. I mean, there's some popular ones that are female, of course, but you'd have to exclude so many others. So again, I'd have to see what source that is. If it's just some random blog site, then you can pretty much consider it BS. And even if there's some somewhat credited sources that are saying it, even then it's like, okay, who exactly is saying this?
There's no truth to it because there's not even a fucking script for the movie
exactly
yet.
Right. I don't even think they may have casted some people for their live action X-Men, but they haven't done much more than that.
I doubt it. I doubt that only because if anyone is cast as of right now,
it's Hugh Jackman.
It's Hugh Jackman. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, it's Hugh Jackman. It's Wolverine and Deadpool to a lesser extent. Like, that's it as far as the X-Men are concerned. Cameos in that movie be damned. As far as the X-Men, you could make the debate Charles Xavier. You could absolutely make that debate because Patrick Stewart has said, he was asked the possibility of being in Secret Wars, and he was like, I don't know, maybe. It's a possibility. But other than that, any other character like Beast, Gambit, Jean Grey, Cyclops, I don't know what to tell anyone, but hot fuck. The X-Men aren't going to come until at least phase 6, if not after Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So whatever his focus is on the X-Men, I can assure you it's not going to be all female led. That's ludicrous. I'm sorry.
No, they've already seen the fruits of that, from like Echo and Ironheart and all this other, all these other younger, iteration, like even Natalie Portman as Thor or whatever. I just, they seem that like, okay, these guys aren't really like, or these fans aren't really flocking to these properties and really embracing them, and it's not because of the the ladies that are cast or whatever. It's probably just because of the way that they've been handled so far.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I can understand Hunter, ever since, what was it, Endgame, when they had that one shot of all the ladies, like, girl power all together, for that one little shot, and that was just mainly for, little kids, little girls, like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
There's some girls. But yeah, I mean, I think you can kind of see, even with the handle, how they handle Captain Marvel, and then the new release of the new Marvels or the Marvels or whatever the fuck that movie is called, I still haven't seen. But it wasn't good reception, and so far, like you've had, and I think that's why, the Ironheart thing has gone, I think it's going through reshoots and, probably a lot of other, movement behind the scenes to sort of fix that, because, they haven't really created a female character, and that's where I think, James Gunn has a leg up, because, I have Supergirl, but I love Supergirl. And so I think it'll be easy to do a film from her, because, everybody, just she's already endearing. But nobody really knows too much about these other characters. Like Supergirl, that's a fucking household name almost. Who's
Right.
Echo? Who's Ironheart? I never heard of Ironheart. I was like, is she related to Dragonheart? It's like
Sean Connery. I am the last
Sean
one.
Connery. I mean, I personally don't have any knowledge of these little girl characters growing up, being the,
Mhm.
Like X-23 is like, okay, cool. That was cool to see in Logan, but for like, I don't really care if you go into like a movie about her, like, okay, cool. But, I think the problem is that they just haven't made a compelling story yet, and that they've executed in a way that's like, oh shit, it's caught on. People like this story. I think they're just doing the whole Rey Skywalker thing, and just like, they're not really giving you a reason to like, invest in these younger lady characters.
Well, the big problem too is that, kind of like what you said, is they were trying to bring in a lot of obscure comic characters and then make them more household names, and that's a lot harder to do than adapting household names.
I think that's the bigger issue with it, as opposed to them just being female characters. That's
right.
Me personally.
I mean, yeah, you've lost your tier one. You can't really use Hulk because of who is it that owns
Universal.
Universal. You can't really do much with Spider-Man outside of agreements.
And then Black Widow, your main female character, is dead.
Right.
But they've got Florence Pugh as the successor, and she's actually quite a draw.
That's true. She does have quite a draw. That's absolutely true.
She does have quite the draw. So
she's the true. Echo, the
she's the new Black Widow. She's yelling at
Black Widow. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, so she's the blonde.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because I did see Black Widow. It was an okay movie.
It's like,
it's okay.
Black Widow is like if Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy came together, because it has really great action with some really fucked off stupid humor in it. It's like a mix.
Yeah, I didn't like the Soviet Captain America guy. I knew he was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't funny.
Yeah,
just like,
I'm not super big on like Red Guardian's humor. I like David Harbour as an actor.
Oh yeah, love David Harbour.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I got what they were going for with the character, but that humor just fell flat, so flat with that movie. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it's not
definitely true.
Didn't we all see this coming though? I mean, the A team was primarily used up for the first few phases, and then after Endgame and all that, now you have the B team, and the general audience doesn't know the B team, and now you're trying to convince the audience to engage and care about these characters that they have no idea about, except, and the only people who do care or know about them are the hardcore comic book people who have invested time in those stories.
Well, it's
on paper, not necessarily on TV.
And RJ makes a good point here.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. RJ makes a good point here where, you talk about the transition from, the first couple phases with the tier 1 characters, and then you go to the next phases, right? RJ here says
I agree with RJ.
Yeah, they shouldn't have phased out their tier 1 characters until they had more tier 1 characters, X-Men and Fantastic Four. They should have had more transition.
You got to give us a reason to care.
Yeah,
and
so they tried transitioning
they have not done that.
Right, they tried transitioning with like Captain America, to Sam, making him Captain America. They tried doing that handoff.
Here's the thing, though, that that instance has not been completely fully executed. We do not know how a general audience in a theater is going to react to Sam Wilson as Captain America.
True. That's the main thing that they did the handoff, and then with Black Widow, they did the handoff with Florence Pugh. So but at the same time, you can hand off to like for instance, Sam as Captain America. Like he's prominent in the comics, but to the general audience, they're still like, getting used to the idea of Sam being Captain America instead of Steve Rogers. Instead, like you could have, again, tier 1 characters, like bring the X-Men in to kind of pave the way so that you can bring back in Sam Wilson, and then you can have it to where it build up along these guys. And then same thing with Fantastic Four. They just took a little too long. Of course, with X-Men, they had their hands tied with the X-Men characters for a while and Fox and everything.
Same with Fantastic Four, because Fox was also the owners.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look at like She-Hulk. She's supposed to, take the place of Bruce or David, whatever Banner. It's supposed to take his place in the roster or whatever. And nobody cared about that show.
It was just because it was poorly written.
Well, that's the thing, is that they're not. And I agree with the Bob guy, Bob Iger, that came back and was like, yeah, we're just not going to put it out and whatever, quit greenlighting so much shit. It's because they're not really giving it its due. Go back and give me the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th draft of whatever, whatever you're trying to bring to, to the screen, so that it has been, gone through the ringer, or a fine tooth comb has gone through it and taken out all the shit that just doesn't work or make sense, and give us, look, everyone on the panel here resonates with good stories. I can forgive bad effects. I can forgive bad costume, but if it's a good story and it's fun to watch, we'll watch it. It's not that hard to, to kind of figure out, but it just seems like everybody was like, yeah, let's put that aside for a quick paycheck. Let's put that aside for getting as much shit out there as possible, and have my name attached to it. Even if it sucks, my name is still attached to it. And that's all I care about, because I'm going to go to these Hollywood parties and I'm going to boast about that, So I think that people need to take a step back and kind of like this X-Men 97, really give us a refined, well thought out story.
Yeah.
And we'll forgive episode 4s because the overall narrative is fun and good and we like it.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, who are they competing with? Who is Disney MCU really competing with at this point? It's not DC. DC's not really putting that much out, and
they're trying to compete with themselves.
Well, and that's just the thing. It's how to your point, right? How much can we get out there to make as much quick money as we possibly can, sacrificing stories, sacrificing creativity, and like with She-Hulk or Moon Knight. I mean, we'll push out one season and then hope that the audience forgets about the character, whether good, bad, or indifferent.
Right? Because where the fuck is Oscar Isaac? Where's he been for? How long has it been since that thing released?
Moon Knight came out in 2022.
Damn.
Yeah.
And here we are halfway through 2024, and they're not even in production for season 2.
Yeah, they're just taking. Well, I think it's both a good and bad thing that they're taking their time getting things going again, because they realize with some things they kind of fumbled the bag, and so I think they're being more careful. Like, okay, before we, just sprint into production with these things, let's kind of take our time and finalize things. Clean some things up.
You would think that. You would think.
Yeah, you hope. Yeah.
Well, we're just speculating because we don't know. We're hoping that they take they're like, hey guys, let's take our time and
well, the thing is, Phase 5 also ends with the Thunderbolts. We have no clue what is on the docket for Phase 6 outside of Secret Wars and Fantastic Four.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to tell what they have prioritized coming soon, as opposed to what we are expecting. Because we've got Captain America that comes out in February, and then Thunderbolts in, I think it's May, and then in July, Fantastic Four. And the only for sure thing this year is Deadpool and Wolverine. Echo came out at the beginning of the year. It had 5 episodes. They dropped it all at once, and it had very great reception to it. And then at the end of the year, allegedly, the Agatha TV show is coming, and it's like, all right,
that's still happening.
They made it. They shot it. They finished it.
If it's in the can, then they're not going to pull a Batgirl on it.
Yeah, they're not. No. Kevin Feige and Bob Chapek Bob Iger are not David Zaslav. They've got a Marvel brand. And if people want Marvel, people will fucking watch Marvel no matter what, because it's got that fucking.
They'll fucking make a Squirrel Girl show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will. He's not kidding. Like Squirrel Girl could probably happen in the MCU at some point.
Yeah.
She's the OP character.
Then again, it's also kind of interesting to hear them by them. I mean, like Brad Winderbaum and Kevin Feige talk. Oh, we're working on something for Nova. Oh, we're working on something for Nova. We've been hearing that since fucking Guardians 1.
Right?
And that was 10 years ago.
I've been waiting for a Nova movie for so long. Like, I'm not necessarily someone who like knows a ton about him in the comics, but ever since like I've seen little things about him, it's just like, yeah, I want to see a movie of that. I want like they tease the Nova Corps in the first Guardians movie, and I've done jack squat with it. It's like, what the frick you doing? Like, I get you an emphasis on the overarching story. I get that, but like, why not Nova?
I'd even take a Nova series at this point.
Honestly.
Like, but that's just me. That's a character who's on the BC list, now, thanks to, like Thor and Iron Man and Captain America being A-listers effectively after the Avengers.
Right.
So, you look at characters like Nova, you look at characters like Blade, you look at characters like, the Black Knight. Those guys are now relegated to the B and C list. And it's as unfortunate as it is, we know who these characters are. General audience is going to be like, who the fuck is Nova? You mean that, is he part of that core that was in Guardians 1, but like decimated in Infinity War? Yeah, more or less.
Well, and not only do you need to get the audience to care about these characters, come see them in a theater, but you got to get them to care enough about to go buy the merchandise too.
That's true too. Yeah.
Because people, I mean, when the first go around was happening, I mean, you had the Iron Man toys, Captain America toys, Avengers toys. I mean, they were making a lot of money outside the movie.
Well, that's where they make all their money. It's not the box office.
Well, that's just it. So now you have Nova driven merchandise, or kids aren't gonna. Think about it. Again, we know these, but little kids aren't gonna know those. They're gonna resonate. Oh, I know who Iron Man is. I know who Incredible Hulk is, but who's Nova? Right. So they may end up even taking a hit there too if they're not careful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. With that, speaking of kind of drama-filled things, one of the other topics that we wanted to cover today was the recent drama with the Green Lantern casting for Nathan Fillion in Superman Legacy and in the new DCU. And James Gunn had basically made a clarifying statement about the timeline of casting Nathan Fillion. And I believe, Phil, you had seen it on Threads, right? He posted it on Threads.
Yeah. So initially sometime last week, Nathan Fillion did an interview with Collider, and I don't quite have the context in front of me, but basically, I don't know if he was asked, but he let it slip that he was being cast as Green Lantern for the Suicide Squad rap party. Well, that sent it as the internet happens to be, it sent Snyder fans in his fit, claiming he was always been going to reboot the universe, blah, 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 blah. Evil James Gunn, he fucking lied, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gunn later clarified on Threads either earlier this week or late last week. It was Saturday, actually, because I remember sending the screenshot of it to Dave the following morning of Vodka Stream, because we were talking about it on the Vodka Stream that Friday night of like, hey, did he misspeak? Was he like, was he actually cast after the Suicide Squad? It was a topic of conversation. That following morning, James Gunn on Threads was like, no, he misspoke. We told him this at the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 wrap party or premiere party, whatever the fuck it is. And it's like, oh, okay. That makes more sense, because that falls closer to the creation of him doing Superman and working on Superman, being the head of DC Films, etc. Right?
Plus, also him mistaking which premiere party it came out in. Like, as an actor, you attend so many of those, they tend to blend together, and you think, okay, was it this one? Then sure, whatever. It was a superhero movie that I did. It must have been that one.
People in general just get shit confused all the time. It's
right.
It's nothing new. It's a nothing burger, more or less. But yeah, fans had their fucking hiss fit, and they wanted to like try and label James Gunn a fucking liar, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. He's always been planning to reboots and whatever. And it's like, do you guys just like not comprehend, anything at all from a logical perspective whatsoever? Just because you have a hate boner for the guy does not give you full license to just jump at every opportunity plausible to just label this man a fucking liar. Look, I think it's pretty safe to say a lot of us on this panel aren't exactly excited for Superman Legacy, or Superman as it's now being called. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not hard to come to a logical fucking conclusion or look at something like that, be like, oh, that's neat, and then move about your business for the rest of your day.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, honestly, people are. It's my saying is that it's not my saying, but it's like something that people say all the time is that people on the internet are always looking for something to be mad at. They are not satisfied while surfing the web without something to be pissed off about and complain about. Not everybody, but a lot of people.
Right.
And that swings for all sorts of different groups and fandoms and factions of fandoms. I mean, I don't know. If I were to try to keep track of all the times people say that James Gunn lied or some producer said this, or some director did this, my gosh, I wouldn't be able to get anything done ever.
Yep. Right.
It just seems though the hate is. I mean, I thought the hate was bad when the whole Zack Snyder Justice League campaign before the film got released was bad, but it just seems like lately, over the past 3 or 4 months, at least what I've been noticing, it's going to a whole nother level of drawing a line in the sand, and you better pick what side you're going to be on, because otherwise,
everything is dwindles down to that.
I agree. It just seems like it's just, for whatever reason, ever since James Gunn came on board, he said he was going to take the lead on Superman. It seems like with each passing day and week, it's like it's escalating more and more and more. Bigger than
they got nothing to like watch until Superman comes out, you know. So they got plenty of time to stew. You know?
Yeah. Well, just wait till Creature Commandos comes out. Right?
Oh, geez.
Just wait, because all the people who are hardcore Zack Snyder fans are going to look at that, fucking throw their fingers up in the air and throw their elbows in their hands and be like, well, this isn't Justice League Part 2 or Part 3, so I don't give a fuck. Why the fuck did James Gunn get to make this goofy ass fucking Creature Commando show? And it's like, because he's the head of DC. Get the fuck over it. Wham wham boo hoo. Cry me a river, piss in your Cheerios. Have a nice day. Oh God, not this shit again.
I'm just joking. I know this guy's joking.
I know that's his hello, and that's totally fine. But it's like, dude,
it's hilarious.
Find a new hello, please. Like, because that's old news. Like, I hear you.
Well, Spider-Man 4 is also inevitable with Tobey Maguire.
And Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Which Amazing Spider-Man has an anniversary as of today, tomorrow, whatever way you watched it.
I was listening to the soundtrack and I was just reminiscing, you know, just
Amazing 2?
No. The Danny Elfman from Part 1 and Part 2, and then also the Goblin that they did in No Way Home.
Okay.
And that was good.
I don't know. I just think no matter what either one of them puts out, whether it's Zach puts out whatever next movie he puts out, or James puts out whatever he puts out, it's gonna be this side versus that side. I mean,
100%.
And I'm only bringing this up because it's the most recent thing. Yeah. I mean, we just went through this with Rebel Moon. I mean, look at what that caused.
But it really, to be honest, at the end of the day, dude, all it does is nothing but positive for Zach and also for James Gunn, because it keeps their names in the conversation.
Yeah.
I'd rather people be talking about me than not talking about me at all.
Fair enough.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The old phrase.
It's just crazy how deep people are willing to go down the rabbit hole over a movie or a TV show. I guess that's the point I'm trying to drive home here. It's like, hey, there's more to life than
100%
than a movie or a TV show. We all enjoy them. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, my life isn't starting and ending based off of a movie. So.
Yeah. I do like when Integrity says here, people that don't like Snyder should try not discussing Snyder. Same thing for Gunn, right? Like, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Gunn. Absolutely. I don't really talk about Gunn unless he's brought up in a conversation. I usually don't waste time talking about directors or bands or actors or artists I don't like. It's a great point, honestly.
Turn the dial. You don't like it? Turn the dial. Keep scrolling.
Exactly. It's like if you listen to the radio. If people listen to radio nowadays, if a song comes on, you don't like it, you don't have to sit there and listen to it. You can change the channel.
Not this song again. Well, all I got.
Oh my goodness.
I guess I'll power through it.
If I have to.
If I have to listen to this song again from this group that I don't like so much.
The problem is, though, a lot of the internet and a lot of internet entertainment culture like hinges on
drama.
Not drama, yes, but also just, you know, hate content, contrarian content. People like being bitter and angry on the internet because they know it gets reactions. I mean, for crying out loud, there was a thing on Threads going around from like, it was probably a tweet or something of, you know, Snyder mentioning in an interview that he has the footage to finally fix Sucker Punch, but he might need a fan campaign to get it done. And someone was just like, well, maybe you should try making your movies good the first time. And it's like, you just fucking told on yourself in every single way possible, because not only did you just flat out like admit that you don't like the movie or the guy, but you clearly have no fucking knowledge of how a movie is made, or the fact that studios meddle in this shit all the time. Because clearly when any other director puts out a fucking director's cut, it's A-O-fucking-K. The minute Zack Snyder does it, oh, he needs to do it to prove he's a fucking good filmmaker. Really? Tell that to fucking Ridley Scott. Tell that to James Cameron.
Yep.
Like, are you fucking serious with this shit right now? It's because people, the fun thing to do for whatever reason to this day still is to just punch on Zack Snyder. And it's fucking asinine and childish. And yet the sad thing is people will still do it because they know they can get clicks and fucking bait out of it. Yep. That's the sadder part.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Ridley Scott was going to be, as soon as you got done, I was going to say Ridley Scott was the first thing that came to my mind.
Ridley Scott, dude. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think Gladiator 2 looks pretty interesting.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it. Seriously.
I like it.
I mean,
I need to see more. I need to see a teaser trailer or a trailer before I can even have an opinion.
Hey,
because I hold Gladiator, the first one, as like one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. I hold that as very high, very high regard.
Ever.
It's no, it's a good movie. I like it. I own it on 4K actually. So
oh, nice.
So you must really like it.
I do really like it. I do really like it. I don't know if it's the best movie ever made. But I do really like it. I really appreciate it. But yeah, no, that looks good. And the Planet of the Apes movie looks pretty good too.
That comes out next week.
Oh,
next week. Yeah.
I want to watch it. I want to watch it, man.
It's going to be good. That's going to be good. I can't wait for that too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
I'm excited.
And, speaking of things you're excited for, Phil, I understand that you had a fun experience this week.
All right.
Okay. Let me tell you a story about a movie that came out in 1979 called Alien, directed by the one and only Ridley Scott. Yes. So the 45th anniversary of Alien was this past weekend. They did it on Alien Day. They had it showing the entire weekend. I don't know if anyone else in the chat was fortunate enough to see it, but I was fortunate enough to catch it Saturday night at about 7:00 my time. And I will just say that having only recently discovered the Alien films, and by recently I mean within the last 6 to 7 years, bought the quadrilogy on a whim. And my podcast pal Craig was like, "Oh, you've never seen these movies? You're in for a fucking show." So I put on the first movie at night with my big ass sound system and my TV, and I watched the movie, and I was like, "Oh, this is horrifying. This is fucking terrifying." But this is also like arguably one of the best movies I've ever seen, even if it's basically Halloween in space, which is probably why I like it. So jump forward to last Saturday. I was like, "Oh, cool. Alien showing, for its 45th anniversary. I haven't been to a theater in a week. I want to go see something." Because the week before that, I watched Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, and I don't want to talk about that. So I'm talking about Alien. Let me tell you something, guys. Seeing Alien on the big screen with a room full of the audience was about 25% full, give or take. Hot fuck. There were certain moments in this movie that I knew was coming, and I even went, ooh, that was good. Like, it's still got the spooks. It's good. It was just top tier. Phenomenal experience. I love seeing it. One of my favorite films in the theater, because I am just a massive fan of that first movie. The rest of them, that's a completely different conversation, because I don't like Aliens that much. I like Alien 3. Resurrection is a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's fucking godlike. And then Alien Covenant is like, what the fuck? But no. Alien 45th anniversary showing in the theater was phenomenal. And next week, I get to talk about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So it's just back-to-back space adventures for me, because I see that this Friday. So when we come back next week, I will have that to talk about.
Nice. This has been Phil at the movies. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the first Alien movie, in my opinion, is one of the scariest movies ever made.
Oh, 100%. Like,
It is
even
a terrifying movie.
I do like Aliens though, and it's mainly because of like Bill Paxton.
Yeah. I don't like that movie all that much.
Yeah, it was fun to see them like as a group, as a military group, and like I don't know. It was just like more aliens, more guys. I don't know.
It was definitely more of an action film than a horror film.
That's just it. Like it's a retread of Alien with a James Cameron flair. And you add more aliens and you add a bigger one, and that's pretty much it. Sure, Ripley delivers the iconic line, "Get away from her, you bitch!" It's like, yeah, okay, that's neat. But how does the movie end? The same exact way the first one ends. You throw it out the fucking space chute. It's like, oh,
that's what they did back then in the 80s, though.
It's like,
they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like them.
I know there's a lot of anniversary films they're putting back in theaters this year. They're putting Star Trek 15th year anniversary in.
They did the Spider-Man movies as well.
They're still
doing that.
Those. Yep. They also are the Transformers cartoon movie from '84. 40th anniversary is putting back in theaters.
I still need to get that on.
I think Amazing Spider-Man 1 is next Monday.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I'll be driving home on Monday though. Gosh dang it.
We all know you're gonna go the next week to see Amazing 2. Come on.
Well, even in my area, they're putting Back to the Future back in
no
theaters.
Shit. Wow.
First one, yeah.
You know what I'm waiting for?
I want to see like if they put it back in theater, I'd love to be like a Fathom event of Back to the Future, but have them connect all the movies as one film.
You know what I would love?
It would be nice.
I would love to see. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point this year. Pulp Fiction, because it turns 30 this year.
I could see that.
Let's see.
I'd want to see Death Proof.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand.
So Death Proof is my favorite film from him because for the first 30-40 minutes, it's that grindhouse. So like the film is skipping, the audio, the cigarette burns on the film. It has that real grindhouse feel to it. I would love to see more modern films made with that feel and look to it. Yeah, just because that's what I enjoy. But yeah, Pulp Fiction would be pretty good to see come back on the big screen.
Yeah, I watched it as a teenager for the first time, and then I watched it in college, and now I'm just like, I need to see this movie in a theater with people. Like I at my age now, I'm like, yeah, that's one I definitely want to see, especially after watching Ghostbusters Frozen Empire at a Alamo Draft House, and their menu literally had a big Kahuna burger on it, and that's what I ate while watching Ghostbusters. I'm like, yeah, I kind of need to see Pulp Fiction in a theater this year. So I'm certainly hopeful that they do it.
Kahuna.
Dude, Alamo Draft House is awesome.
Royale with cheese.
Big Kahuna burger and Royale with cheese are both in the movie.
Okay.
Because the Big Kahuna burger is what Brett is eating when Jules and Vincent go to the apartment. Mm-hmm. But on the way to the apartment, Vincent and Jules are having a conversation, and Vincent's telling him about Burger King in Germany and how they call it a Royale with cheese. Yeah.
I just love all these like anniversary theater showings because, like, you know, like for instance, Phil with Alien, you weren't around to watch Alien in the theater. I mean, I don't think really anyone except for, never mind, I'm not going to name names. But okay,
no, I didn't either. Alien came out in '79. I still had.
I couldn't go to the movies at that age.
But anyway, like movies that we didn't get to see, you know, in the big with the big screen and with the surround sound speakers and everything, like that's just a whole fun experience with these classic movies that you didn't get the first time around, just because again, age and whatnot. But it's just really cool, especially like Alamo Draft House.
I think Star Wars kind of started that off with the special editions, right?
Yeah, you could take that debate.
You've only witnessed this blah 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 on the small screen. Now it's going back in for a limited time.
Well, how long? Well, I mean, how long ago did Harkins start their Tuesday night classics? They've been doing that for a minute. At least in my area, they do. Every Tuesday at 7:00, they show like a classic movie, and usually around Christmas time is when they start showing all the Indiana Jones movies.
Man, I tried to watch The Dial of Destiny the other day, and I'm having to watch it in parts because it's
Yeah.
It's
I still haven't seen it.
It's not as bad as the Crystal Skull as far as like it's not as goofy, but you know,
Last
it's
Crusade
like,
is
Sala.
It's my favorite.
Getting old Sala.
I'm kind of partial to Temple of Doom.
Same. I love Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom is.
I mean,
Connery, Last Crusade.
Supporting character in the Indiana Jones movies, in my opinion. I love Short Round. He is so freaking awesome and so hilarious.
You identify with him though, because he's young.
What the freak does that mean?
He's so young.
I think you know exactly what it means.
It's a dumb comparison.
Like, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones.
I just love the 80s like action temple adventure.
You just like the Club Obi-Wan. That's it. You don't know about the Club Obi-Wan.
I know about that, but like, why would that
you
be
look at me like
I'm just shrugging like, yeah, so.
It's in the movie.
BFD. Go on.
Okay.
Dawson has this look on his face like, yeah, that you
well, Dan Aykroyd's also
stating a factual
like
point.
that.
There's a club called Obi-Wan in the movie, and that's well, she got.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I just like the whole setup of the temple and like I don't know. I just love the dynamic or the chemistry between the characters and everything. Like I just think it's for me, it's the most entertaining of the movies. Yeah.
Bring back.
And then Short Round, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones.
It's good. It's that, but
they
That
should
was
have
your
brought
best
him
impression?
in for Dial of Destiny.
God.
I wasn't trying to do the best one. I'm just saying, like,
I wish I'm kind of with you. I wish Ki Kwan would have shown up for Dial of Destiny. That would have given me a lot more incentive to watch it. That's
true.
That's
I agree with that. I agree. I mean, he's alive. He's available. So yeah,
they should have.
I mean, you brought fucking Sala back, dude. He's old as fuck.
Honestly, he's right there on the fucking Disney lot doing Loki. Like, come on.
Well,
really
if Cobra Kai can bring back literally every character and extra from the Karate Kid movies, they can bring back Short Round.
Yes,
exactly. They should have, but they missed on a big opportunity. I was hoping that they would like sneak him in there. I was like, nope, they were not smart in doing that at all, which sucks. But whatever.
And then Ki Kwan won a fucking Oscar Emmy for it's that movie he did with Jamie Lee Curtis. Thank you. Yes, that. Yeah, that'd have been nice.
No, I don't like that.
You didn't like that movie?
No. Don't like my drawing.
He's talking to himself.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sammy here will ask a quick question that I can answer really quickly. Could someone please explain the controversy around James Gunn's Superman VFX supervisor calling out Snyder fans? From what I understand, he didn't call him out. So here's the thing, just a quick synopsis. Video Zack Snyder posted yesterday about the set visit and everything.
Yeah.
It was with
abashed.
It was like raw footage. It wasn't like what's the term? Gosh dang it.
Dailies?
Footage, dailies,
B-roll.
B-roll.
It's like they didn't like edit it or like they didn't like color correct it or anything like that. Uncorrected footage.
Oh, okay.
And so like there was like a handful of people being like, "Really, Zach? Really? You released an uncorrected footage thing of behind the scenes? That's unprofessional." And apparently one of those tweets was liked by a VFX supervisor for James Gunn's Superman movie. And that's all that I...
Are you fucking serious?
So dumb. So incredibly dumb.
Good God.
It's just a
battle
guy that doesn't fucking matter. Who cares? Fuck him.
Yeah, honestly.
This is 2024 and it's the internet. So
it's like, what?
I shouldn't have been surprised by that becoming an issue for some people because I didn't really notice. But I guess, I shouldn't.
I mean, it just feeds into what we were talking about earlier. It's a tribal battle and it's dumb bullshit. Okay, so the VFX supervisor for one director fucking liked a disparaging comment about another director. BFD, who is this VFX supervisor? Why does he matter?
Yeah, and why should we care?
Why should we care? Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, what's his resume look like? What fucking movies has he worked on? If I wanted to, I could probably disparage the fuck out of the movies they worked on. If I really wanted to, am I going to? No, because that's what all those fucking trolls want to happen. It's a waste of fucking time. For God's sakes, it's like if I wanted to get mad about every time Dan Slott said something about Superman that I don't necessarily agree or jive with. The man makes fucking Spider-Man comics, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
BFD.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. So it was really dumb. So I saw some of that last night. I'm just like, really? Like, first off, people complaining about that thing from a behind the scenes video. Like, Really? That's the hill you're going to die on? And to be frank, most of those people that were complaining about that were amateur filmmakers.
Go figure.
So, yeah, exactly. Go figure.
Go figure. It's always the amateur filmmakers,
always. But with that, I know that I know some people have been posting lately that it's been a year since the Full Circle event that our friend Phil here got to be a part of, along with Andre.
No, we don't talk about him.
Yeah.
He's not here.
We don't say that name. Why did you say that name?
I should have a folder on my drive of all these pictures. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yes, we'd love to just kind of let Phil reminisce on that awesome.
Can he talk about it? Is he under an NDA?
No.
I'm
not under NDAs. Yeah,
he didn't sign any.
See, Phil experienced this thing a year ago. I experienced my thing 2 years ago.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. I realized that, it was 2022. I was like, oh, freak. I thought it was like maybe a year ago. It was 2 years ago.
Was it 2022?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you went like last summer.
Nope. It was 2022.
Wow. Okay. And you still can't talk about it. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Netflix is amazing.
It's gotta be because
they have the reasons.
It's gotta be the director's cuts.
Yeah, it's like honestly. You can't do it unless we've approved for Rebel Moon 5.
Okay,
I don't know. But anyways, sidestepping that.
Regardless of not being able to speak about it, at least you still have the experience.
Yeah, you have the experience. Right. You can tell your grandchildren.
I mean, regardless of what Ryan says. I mean,
when I share the sizzle reel that Zack Snyder shared on Twitter with my family, my older brother was like, I'm not gonna lie, for a while there, I was starting to think that you just made up the whole thing.
It's like fair a week.
That makes sense. I agree with your brother.
Dawson secretly need a vacation from his family. So he's like,
I'm not really sure where I want to start with this because these are kind of out of order.
Okay.
But, let's just go ahead and let's see. This is me and Jason getting in the car, leaving where he lives down to LA.
Hey, I met him. That's awesome.
Jason's a good guy. He's a cool guy. And then I've got, let's see what else we got here.
Show us your entire folder.
No, I'm not going to.
Share your folder. Hey, what is that? How did you get in that position?
Phil, were you there for the whole 3 days or just?
I was, yeah. I was there for the whole 3 days. This is right after we picked up Scott. Scott had a delay in his flight, so he was on like 12 hours of no sleep. He hadn't eaten anything. So me, Dave, and Jason, Dave drove, picked him up at the airport, LAX. And then Scott was like, I'm hungry. I need something. I need substance. So we all went to Dunkin' Donuts because, I'd never been to a Dunkin' Donuts and Dunkin's the place to be. So we all went to Dunkin'. And
so let's pause for a second there. You've never been to one or you've never even had Dunkin' Donuts.
That was the first time I ever had Dunkin' Donuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, now they're just called Dunkin'.
They're just called Dunkin'. No.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But let's see. Let me find something from the first.
That's a major thing that I do miss from like that LA area is there are so many donut shops there.
Yeah.
Every corner there's a donut shop, especially Yum Yum Donuts.
You would go to a Yum Yum Donuts.
It was around the corner from where I lived. Of course I would.
You just go to the Yum Yum shop.
They had these like classic chocolate donuts that were like not like the rounded, but like they had like the crispy edges and everything. Dude, those things are so good. Holy cow.
Okay, so
Yum Yum.
It was a California franchise. They had them like every other like section of LA.
So this is us waiting to watch Man of Steel in the Art Center. This is day one.
Nice.
And then
they didn't keep the lights on at the top during the movie, did they?
No.
Let's say
no. Yes. That's
any questions. I didn't get too many pictures of the cocktail hour, and I kind of wish I would have. But the thing is so I might have told this story, but we're all gathered around outside the art center at about 4-ish, right? Maybe 5. It might have been 5 o'clock. I don't really remember the time frame, but it was me, Scott, Dave. We met Rebecca Johnson of Duck Milk Pod. We saw a lot of people. Like I even talked to Sean O'Connell for a minute, which was kind of an interesting experience in and of itself. But Dave and I are shooting the shit, right? And he asked me, he's like, "Hey, I know you're not much of a drinker, but are you gonna have a cocktail?" And I was like, I don't know, maybe. Not even fucking 2 minutes of him asking me that question. Zach walks right behind me And Dave just blurts out, "Oh, hey, Zach." And I fucking turn around like the Flash, and I'm like,
Where?
Fucking A, it's Zack Snyder, right? Like, holy shit. And he's going to get a cocktail. I was like, "Hey, Dave, I'm going to go get a cocktail." And he's like, Yep. Me too. I was like, all right, cool. So Zach gets his cocktail, we get ours. And then sure enough, those fucking chuckleheads, those Nimrods, they fucking swarm him and they fucking do their...
Oh, Andre got there?
No, I'm talking about the other chuckleheads, the names who must not be named of that one channel.
Oh, sure.
Those fucking goons, right? They fucking swarm him and, they get him on camera and they're like, "Oh, so Snyderverse, right?" They pull their bullshit. And then the fucking line forms to meet and greet Zach. And we're all just standing there like, yep, opportunity missed. So then we all congregated into the theater. And then afterwards, there's Zach, the two people who head the art center. I forget who plays Carrie Ferris in the movie, but the actress who plays her and the next to her is Debbie. But yeah, that was night one, and that was the Q&A section right there.
Mm-hmm. That's
At
awesome.
any of these nights, were you able to ask any personal questions?
I tried so very hard to ask the same. I wanted to ask him a question that had been running through my mind rampantly, but there were just a ton of other people who got the opportunity to ask their questions.
What did you want to ask him?
So I wanted to ask him, wow, that's a great question. Like, I'm trying to remember the question I specifically wanted to ask him. I basically wanted to infer or elaborate on how he comes up with these thematic parallels from movie to movie. Case in point, like how, in BVS, Lois Lane stops Batman from killing Superman. And then in the Snyder cut, it's the reverse where Lois Lane is now stopping Superman from killing Batman.
Right.
Like how does that process begin? Where does the thought process of that start and end? Like, do you just do it for in one movie and then in the next movie you find an opportunity, or is it all pre-planned out prior to that? Like
I got that from George Lucas.
Oh, it's
then
possible.
George say it's like a poetry. It
rhymes.
Yeah.
So this is night two. Scott and I taking a picture because I hadn't taken a picture with him yet, and I love Scott. I love the DC Squadcast guys. They've been some of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Yeah, so that's us before we sat down for BVS, and that I believe is Zach taking the stage before BVS, and then this is after the BVS showing.
Oh, the statues there.
Yep.
Nice.
There's the statue of all three: Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, right? And then. So on the table, Sean Connell is commentating the question.
He got up there.
Yes. Zach is next to him. There's Damon Caro. There's JD. Desjardins.
Oh, that's before that mic drop moment, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. And that's Patrick Tatopoulos in the very end, the production designer of Batman vs. Superman.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is the infamous interview. Well, not interview, but this is the sit down Q&A in which the young gentleman asked the question of, would you be interested in doing Doomsday Clock? And DJ and Damon promptly fucking went, "Oh, is that book from Jeff Johns?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." And then they fucking throw their mics on the ground and walk away. And then everyone just erupted in laughter. It was fucking hilarious. It was hands down like one of the funniest things I have ever seen, period, bar none. And Zach being the man of class that he is, he was like, "Oh, no, probably not." Like he had the fortitude to be like, "No, I'm good off that." But DJ and Damon were like, "Nope." Hard no, right?
If Zach would have done that, the Snyder haters would have
100%
feasting on that.
Oh, you already know. But yeah, this was honestly one of the coolest Q&As I'd seen because of that, but also because of just the fact that there were a lot of people there and it was just a unified, memorable moment of people who just admire this guy's work and want to actually pick his brain on their shit.
Yeah.
And everyone else too. Let's see. So there's me with Debbie Snyder.
Nice.
Got to meet her. Got her autograph. Then me and the man himself told him thank you for making some of my favorite movies of all time. Man is a genius, and I have his posters. So I got the poster signed by Zach, Debbie, Damon, and Patrick Tatopoulos. And I actually told Patrotopoulos, I was like, initially one of my dreams is to like build a Batmobile on my computer. And he was like, you build that Batmobile and you make it better than mine. I was like, oh, come on. I can't do that. You made a monster. You made like the vehicle of vehicles. Like, dude, you made a fucking badass Batmobile. I don't know if I can top that. But yeah, he's super nice, dude.
They're incredibly nice people.
They are. Like, even Damon Caro, who's just fucking hilarious. Also, he's just real funny, real nice guy, right? And I just, I'll never forget like being able to just tell Zach, hey, I really do love your movies. And I was really caught up in the moment because there were a ton of questions I wanted to ask him, and one question I would like to ask him is, have you ever met and talked to George Romero? Because as far as I know, I'm probably one of the only few people on the planet who have met both directors of both Dawn of the Dead.
Wow.
I don't know anyone else who could say that, but yeah, I've met George Romero and I've met Zack Snyder, both of whom directed versions of Dawn of the Dead.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So there's Stephen Colbert having a fucking tall glass.
My gosh.
This is at the Yard House. We went to the Yard House after BVS. This was just that was great.
Yeah.
So there's Ishan, Dave, Jason, and Joey Moreno from World's Finest.
Yep.
We're all just having a great old time, just shooting the shit and eating good food, right? So there's everyone else getting ready to toast and whatnot. And there's a whole other circle of people who also went to Full Circle. There's Craig in the striped shirt. Where the fuck is Anthony? I can't really tell because it's kind of blurry, but I think that might be Justin. Yeah, this was good, but I actually ended up getting sick. My burger was way undercooked. I was very disappointed. I had been to Yard House before, and I've had great food. This is the first time I had an undercooked burger. I was fucking pissed.
Yeah, we went to Yard House in Sacramento. At that,
you didn't send it back
close to that theater.
No, I'd like gotten like 3/4 of the way through it before I was like, ah. So that's me and Scott having a drink. I think I had an 805, and Scott was having some kind of whiskey, I think. It's me waking up from that fucking terrible hangover and sick food and horrible food with my Charmander plushie that I bought. There's Dave with his morning coffee, a bottle of Jameson, and then my plushie Charmander.
Dave just looks just like, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that Sunday, we went to the Batman statue.
And is that in LA? Like, where exactly is that?
Yes, it is. And I don't remember where exactly it is in LA.
Okay.
I feel like an idiot for not remembering, but yes, it is in fact in LA. And I took quite a few pictures with it. There's Steven taking a nice picture of it.
Because I'm trying to like place it, because like when I lived there, I traveled all over.
It's
LA.
right by one of the IMAX theaters. I don't remember which one specifically, but it's definitely by one of the IMAX theaters.
Okay. Interesting. Let's see.
Burbank
location.
Yeah. I think it's pretty close to the Cartoon Network building, because that's where
it says it's behind Burbank's new superhero stat. So yeah, it looks like it's in Burbank.
Yeah, it's definitely in Burbank.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Burbank. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So I wouldn't have been around there then specifically.
There's me and Joey just fucking chilling. South Cali guy 87.
Oh, that's South Cali? What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't recognize him first.
It's George.
Oh, yeah, me and George. And like, I even when I was still on Twitter, I posted this, and I think I said the caption of like, fuck Rob Liefeld or some shit like that. Because it was an inside joke that I had in that group chat that I was in with everyone before I dipped on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's us outside the city walk, waiting to get in the Universal for the Snyder Cut. We were kind of towards the back end of the line.
Okay.
Me and Ash from Ohio Dave's channel, another good friend. There's the man himself, Mr. Ray Porter. Dark Side. Yeah. So this is not at all related to the Snyder Cut, but this is actually the suit that Liam Neeson wore in Schindler's List.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is like kind of like a Planet Hollywood, but out in actual Hollywood.
This is actually inside the theater.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty nifty.
Yeah, it's kind of like when my wife and I went to Disney. We didn't go to Disney World. We went to Disney Springs outside of it.
I think
the restaurant.
This picture, I think, is either right before they played the movie, or this is like right after the intermission, because there's Ray Porter, behind him is Ray Fisher, and then to Ray's right is Chris Terrio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot,
I thought Chris Terrio was actually a lot taller. I'm taller than Chris Terrio because he's kind of a smaller guy. I was like, wow. So when the intermission happened, I'm walking up the stairs. I had to use the bathroom so fucking bad, but I'm walking up, coming down. Ray Fisher and Chris Terrio are walking like side by side. And I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And like Ray Fisher's giving everyone knuckles, and I just kind of hold my hand out, and Ray Fisher bumped my knuckle. I was like, yes, cyborg knuckle bump. And then as I'm walking, I just blurted out to Chris Terrio, Argo is awesome, and he just shot his hand up in the air. It was great, dude. I love that shit.
That's awesome.
Oh, this is after because that's Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
this is when Ben Affleck walked in and sat everyone and gave everyone a hug and got everyone
that's
yeah
awesome.
This was great. This was so awesome. I was like on the very far end on the bottom row, so that's like the best view I could get of these pictures.
Yeah,
obviously. And then that's us at the NBC Universal Lounge. I don't fucking remember where.
Hey,
exactly.
there's Andre.
There's Andre.
Yeah, there's Andre. There's our good buddy.
He did make it. He wasn't.
He made it for that day. He made it for the Snyder Cut. So at the B&B we were at, that's Steven taking pictures of the flowers and whatnot. Steven is the lens guy. There's us getting ready to leave that B&B on Monday. Oh, by the way, I had coffee with Ray Porter that Monday too.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Dude, Ray Porter is the coolest guy. Let me tell you something. Ray Porter is like the nicest dark side ever. Okay. And like one of the things I asked him was like, what was one of your favorite moments making the movie? And he was like, oh, easily stepping on Steppenwolf's head. I was like, yeah.
Makes sense.
Like, more specific, I was like, what is your favorite shot of your character? And he was like, oh, easily when Steppenwolf or when Darkseid steps on Steppenwolf's head and the camera pans up and you get the full shot of Darkseid. I was like, yeah, that shot is pretty fucking epic.
Yeah.
And just to think how close we were to never seeing that.
I know, right? Oh, I know. Tell me
Gosh.
about it. But yeah, this was easily like one of the best weekends I ever had in my whole life. Straight up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved all that.
It's been really cool seeing all the people that were able to go there, posting pictures of what they
Oh, you know what?
experienced
Here's one more. Here's one more. So this is me and Abdul Anthony Fabrizio of the, I want to say the 40 Club. Yeah.
Yeah, Abdul's a cool dude.
Abdul's super nice.
I met him at both of the AFSP showings for, I think one was BVS and the other was Watchmen.
Yeah. Yeah, and Anthony's super nice too. Like both of these guys are just down to earth, super chill, massive fans, just like we are. Just some of the nicest fucking people I've ever met in my whole life. These guys are awesome.
Oh yeah,
we need to see Watchmen back in the theaters.
I agree.
I'd see that in a heartbeat.
We watched the Ultimate Cut.
That's what I'm saying. I want the Ultimate Cut. That'd be great to see.
I would love to watch the Ultimate Cut. That would be nice.
They just did the Rebel Moon Part 1 screening for AFSP, I think last weekend. Of course, I wasn't able to go, but I know they initially, or at one point, were planning on doing maybe a Man of Steel. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, big same.
Yeah, but
that's
really cool.
That is definitely one weekend I will never forget. I've been at work the last few days. Like, I was in LA a year ago. I miss that.
I bet it doesn't feel like a year though.
It doesn't. It really does not. It's
even for Dawson, it being 2 years for Rebel Moon. I mean, that
doesn't feel like 2 years.
It's so jarring to me that it's been a year since then, and 2 for Dawson. It's crazy.
Gosh, when I can actually geek out about my experience.
The whole episode's devoted.
Yes. That's exactly what's going to happen there. That's exactly what is going to happen. I'm just going to go through everything. I'll go through like the sizzle reels, give context to what happened. Yes, it's
yeah. I can't wait to ask you questions. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I can't wait to answer them and be allowed to. That's been a really nice time. But in the meantime, in about 17 minutes, the sizzle reel that Zach posted will be posted here because I'm allowed to share that on the channel. So you'll be able to look out for that here on the 4Nerds Network. But yeah, I think with that, I think we're kind of going to cut this one a little bit shorter because not a whole lot of news this week. I was going to talk about the sizzle reel that came out, but then I was told not to.
I did see that the R-rated cut might have got its title revealed.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a different title.
Yeah. So the R-rated cuts of Rebel Moon have different titles.
Interesting. I mean, I assume like director's cut underneath it would be the main defining factor, but
I know
Right.
Ryan's interest just peaked, knowing that
Having their different titles.
now different.
Is that part 4? Oh, it's
my
not part
gosh.
4. Okay.
Yeah. So according to a listing, the title for the R-rated cut of part 1 is titled Rebel Moon Chapter 1 Chalice of Blood.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that.
As do I. It's apparently on a listing on Film Ratings.
Is that just for the first one, or do they have the second one too?
Just the first one so far. I haven't seen anything for the second one.
I wonder what the second one's going to be, because like Chalice of Blood, like Child of Fire, Chalice of Blood, that's quite an escalation. I wonder
Very
what
different, right?
escalation is going to be.
Very, very different.
Like Eviscerator or Decapitator.
Give Scar.
Give Scar. I don't know. That'd be kind of funny. But again, with that being said, Mutilator. Oh,
Mutilator.
Kind of cool.
Ryan, what were you gonna? You had.
Oh, have you guys seen anything else this week that's been of interest? I saw some stuff.
I started Dead Boy Detectives, and it's not bad. I just keep trying to watch it when I should be sleeping, and I keep falling asleep. But it's not bad at all. It's actually also tangentially tied to the Sandman universe, because the character who plays Death in Sandman shows up in this.
Interesting.
So it is connected. Yes.
I'm excited to see if they actually are they producing season 2 of Sandman already, or like
yes.
Okay, good.
100%. Yes. Sandman Sandman season 2 got greenlit a while ago, I think before the strikes.
Yeah, I knew it got greenlit, but I wasn't sure if they were like actually working on it. Real quick, Australian $5.
Hey,
Super chat from Droga. Here's an explosion. That's enough money to buy me a wallaby. Says, if you could bring back an animated Marvel show, which would it be?
I
know.
I say Spider-Man at this point.
I know mine.
X-Men.
They already did. Yeah, I'd probably say either Spider-Man or Spider-Man.
The Ultimate Spider-Man, or
no, the one from, was it the late 90s?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd bring back that one. Just like a weekly Spider-Man episode would be super cool.
So this is actually mine is, and this is only because I was on Chainsaw Reacts Council Creators last week talking to one of the creators of this show, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I'd bring that back for a third season, because the third season was going to delve into magic and mysticism along with the mutants. They were going to do like a Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch introduction to have them join the fold for the Avengers, and there was also going to be a subplot revolving around Magneto and a couple other characters too. So Earth's Mightiest Heroes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting to talk to Josh Fine, who worked on that show, was actually really cool. He talked a lot about a lot of other stuff that they kicked around way back in the day. Talked a lot about Earth's Mightiest Heroes too, and there was just a lot of cool like Easter eggs and nuggets and stuff that he bestowed upon us in terms of just overall knowledge. Apparently, they almost got a Marvel versus Street Fighter film made, an animated film.
The heck?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, they had that in video game form, right? They had the
yes. Yeah, it's Marvel versus Capcom. They wanted to make an animated movie.
Yeah.
Capcom was for it, but apparently Marvel was like, we don't know. So it just kind of fell by the wayside.
I mean, I played that arcade game, Marvel vs. Capcom, all the time.
It's great. It's a fun game. I played it at PAX again because they had a retro set up there, and Marvel vs. Capcom was one of the ones they had.
I think there was a McDonald's that I had near my house when I was a kid that had like a little arcade stand of that game.
See, remember when McDonald's used to be cool?
Right? When it was fun?
I remember when
I remember
when Pizza Hut used to be cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it used to be the fucking the place you go after your game.
Yeah, it was a hangout spot.
Yeah,
it was like.
I mean, heck, I went there after basketball games.
Your whole party would just go, your whole team.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I won a Super Mario Brothers 3 event at fucking McDonald's a long ass time ago, back when like the fucking Fred Savage movie was in theaters.
Oh wow!
Just released that
or something like that
game. Yeah.
my wife and I were talking about like what fast food restaurants used to be like when we were kids, and we started talking about the ball pits.
Yep.
Like how gross were those things? But as kids, like we didn't care.
Yep.
Yeah. The times have sure changed.
Yes, they have.
Times they've been a changing.
My local McDonald's used to have
I
a
see what you're
Nintendo
getting there.
GameCube kiosk. That's
Oh,
pretty.
I watched this show with my son. It was called Solo Leveling, and it was pretty interesting. It was like it's not manga, but it was like Korean, so I think it's something else. It's not called anime.
South Korean.
South Korea had to be.
Whatever you're doing.
GameCube.
But it was interesting. And then I watched another one called Kaiju number 8. And so those have been kind of interesting. And so what I've noticed so far from just watching these couple anime shows is that the premise is very similar. It's some loser that is bestowed some enormous power that he has yet to tap into for some reason, and then he's going to be awesome.
My Hero Academia.
Yeah,
that same premise. It's just like
My Hero.
It's. I'm like, okay.
Well, if you're looking for good anime to watch, one that has a great story that you would love that doesn't have any filler is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I'll check that out.
Arguably one of, if not many people put it as the best anime, just because it's an incredible show. And then of course Attack on Titan's another one that a lot of people recommend, and I do as well. But that one's a lot. I know Jujutsu Kaisen gets recommended a lot. Bleach.
I haven't watched that. I still have not watched that. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Another one that gets recommended to me a lot is Code Geass, which I haven't watched yet.
Yeah.
But I heard that one's amazing.
You could try Trigun and Cowboy Bebop if you already haven't.
Yeah.
I've heard of Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop is hands down like one of the best animes ever made. Straight up. It's limited. It's like only 26 episodes, but it is like one of the best.
Yeah, that's right up my alley. I don't want to watch something like I couldn't get into Dragon Ball when I was young, so I don't.
So yeah.
What was the other one? The other one, One Piece, and there's just so many.
One Piece is a lot.
One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, Bleach. They're all long form. Yeah. So you have to like commit if you want to get into those. But like shorter stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, shorter stuff like Brotherhood, like Dawson said. Trigun's also another short one. Cowboy Bebop.
The first arc of Death Note.
No. Absolutely fucking not. Don't you recommend him that?
I said the first arc because the first arc is good. It's just after that. It's just
Ryan's like, I just want content to watch.
I just want good
okay, what's wrong with the first arc of Death Note? Come on.
You recommended it. That's what's wrong with it.
We still haven't expressed what's wrong with it. The first arc,
round one.
Everything after that, I understand. But the first arc, I mean, that's good TV. No. Okay, explain why.
Because I fucking said so, Dawson.
That is not an explanation.
Yes, it is. It's good enough.
Okay, we talk about nuance and conversation about filmmaking all the time, and you're not giving me anything to work with.
I'm just busting your chops, man. I haven't seen an episode of Death Note.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
Just because of that, your assignment to watch Death Note.
Oh man, just for that, he's my favorite.
Let me meet you at the corner of fuck and no, okay?
Why are you so adamant against it? Because you know that you don't like that likes Death Note.
Dude, I saw the movie. That was enough for me.
Oh, don't judge the show based off the movie. Do not do that.
That's like watching Dragon Ball Z the movie.
Okay, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Hey, let me tell you a story. I saw Dragon Ball Evolution in theaters. Okay, me and my 4 friends who grew up loving Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z all ventured to the theater to watch this movie. Okay, the movie finishes. And we all kind of look at each other and we're like, well, that was a movie. And then I was like, I wish Krillin was in it. And then some kid younger than me turns around and goes, you don't know shit about Dragon Ball. And I looked at him, I was like, excuse the fuck, who are you?
Like, let's step outside, Cupcake.
I was like, I'm sorry, do you know who the fuck Yamcha is? And he was like, who? I was like, yeah, exactly. Don't fucking sit here and tell me I don't know shit about Dragon Ball if you can't even tell me who Yamcha is. I'll pull a Vegeta and take your bitch, kid.
But see, here's the thing, Phil. If someone came to you and was asking for anime and you recommended Dragon Ball, and they're like, "Oh, I watched Dragon Ball Evolution. I'm good." What would you say?
Tough shit for you.
No, you would say, watch the real show because that's much, much better. The movie did not represent it well. Same thing with this thing with the Death Note movie. Do not judge the show based off of the movie.
Dawson's going in for the checkmate.
He's still trying.
Yeah.
He's still
trying.
that's
I want you to watch it.
I think
Okay.
In legitimate complete fairness, I think I've seen like an episode or two of Death Note, and I'm like, I get it, but it ain't for me.
Okay.
I've literally seen zero of every movie that's been mentioned. In the
Sean, you have homework. Okay. At least Full Metal Alchemist
everything you
Brotherhood.
guys have mentioned, I have.
Okay,
I've heard of, but have seen 0 seconds.
I need. Sean, I'm not sorry for you, nor do I feel like remorse or anything like that. If you want to watch it, you want to watch it by all means.
No, it's just one of those things that I've never gravitated towards. As far as not to say it's not good content, it's just not.
Anime is one of those things where you have to approach it carefully.
Yeah,
that's why, like, when my wife introduced it to me, the first thing she showed me was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because it's not just a good anime; it's just a good story.
I mean, because outside of like a lot of the, I don't want to call them general shows, but like the stuff we talk typically on here about. If it's not that, I'm on the polar opposite of what I watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking. I'll go from Man of Steel, something like that, to full blown out horror flick, gore.
You can't forget Joker. You have to watch Joker.
Joker. I mean, well, I actually watched that yesterday.
I love it.
There it is.
You want a really off the wall one that's still short?
Once a week, that movie gets watched at least once a week. What's
the
that?
devil is a part timer. Basically, the devil works at a McDonald's.
What?
I shit.
I was reaching for my pen.
Not.
But once I heard that, I'm like, no, that pen's gonna.
Is this live action anime? What is this?
No, this is not live action. This is anime.
Okay,
It's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
Okay.
But
I mean, the stuff like I tend to go again complete opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to like what we talk about on here and things like that, to more like true crime stuff. I mean, have you guys? I'm sure you know who like Robert Durst is.
I've heard the name.
Name sounds familiar.
Okay, so Robert.
I know a Robert.
You know a Robert. Good. So you probably know. So we're on the same path here. So I'm sure everyone has HBO Max. So if you haven't seen it, it's a show called The Jinx, and the first season came out in 2015, and they just now are doing season 2. And he was part of a very wealthy family in New York, and his wife went. Actually, there was a movie with Ryan Gosling in it. It was based on him, where his wife went missing in the 70s, and they all suspected him killing her. And then he actually killed somebody, got acquitted. And then killed another person, got acquitted. And it was through this documentary that the evidence came out the first season, and then he got arrested. And he recently died like a year ago. But it's those type of real life, true story type things that I tend to gravitate towards.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a good true detective, true crime type of story too. Like it's one of those things where like I don't ever like turn it on the TV, but if it's like on, I'll sit down and I'll watch it forever. Yeah. I just never think about it in the moment to like what I want to watch.
That movie with Ethan Hawke, yeah, and he's like,
that movie,
that movie,
that one,
yeah,
that movie,
which Ethan Hawke movie?
That movie, Dawson.
Yeah,
that
Bill knows. The one where he's got the black van and he kidnaps kids and
the black phone?
Black phone.
Yeah.
I have not.
See, we all knew what he was talking about.
I knew what he was talking about. I thought it was a fucking movie.
Sinister is a lot better of a movie with Ethan Hawke. Sinister is much better.
Also, both directed by Scott Derrickson.
Oh,
Sinister had no, that wasn't it. Have y'all seen Reptile? I recommended that shit, and it's got what's his name that was he was going to be Darth Maul, Benicio del Toro.
Oh right,
and
you're right.
And it's a good movie. I recommend Reptile.
Interesting.
I'll put it on the list.
Okay. I'm trying to think of other ones maybe you guys.
I also I haven't seen the sequel, but I like the first one, Sicario or whatever, with Thanos and him.
Josh Brolin.
Yes, Josh Brolin. Love Josh Brolin. But yeah, that
Sicario
is a really good movie. I want to see the sequel. I haven't seen it yet. I just haven't seen it on any platform where I don't have to pay.
Yeah, they're supposed to be making actually a third one.
Oh, really?
To that, yeah.
Yeah, because I liked it. Oh,
yeah, the first one was excellent.
It was great. Yes. Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, and also like I like a lot of independent films too. I mean, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of films that are great that just don't get enough attention, enough marketing, which I
same
understand
thing with
why,
indie comics.
but I just think a lot of
You're
them
not
are
wrong.
good.
Yeah.
Yes, you're not wrong, Ryan. I'm
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Most of the comics I collect nowadays are indie comics. Like
Really?
Yeah, most of them.
Okay, I can understand that.
Like for me, I haven't collected. Well, I guess it's not true. I did collect a little bit of Gargoyle of Gotham from Rafael Grampa, but outside of that, it's mostly like collecting back issues of Spawn or like Haunt or like other Image comics, some Dark Horse stuff.
I've been looking into a lot of different indie creators, and there's like one that I kind of found that was interesting was like Godhood Productions or Godhood Comics, and so they have an interesting premise where it's like, you know, a family of ex-villains and they're trying to raise their kid and all that. It's interesting. It's an interesting
one that I backed. It was a Kickstarter from Sean Murphy, the guy that did Batman White Knight.
Yep.
He's putting out a Zorro book that he did.
Yep.
And
I tried to watch the Zorro show, the new one. It sucks.
There's a new Zorro show.
Oh my god! What? Did I hear that? Like I get stereo. Yeah, no, it's on either Amazon or Netflix. I think it's one of the two because those are the ones I frequent.
News to me. I had no idea.
Dude, I couldn't get past the first damn episode. I'm a guy like I grew up on like George Hamilton is fucking Zorro. He is amazing. You know, Antonio Banderas is Zorro. That was fun. But yeah, I watched this one and it was so fucking boring. It was like the worst. It was like, yeah, he's a Native American Indian.
Oh, that's a shame.
Cool, but
are you sure it wasn't this is the first episode, it's gonna get better, or there was no chance of it getting better?
Bro, I could probably try it again, but I just
no, please, I don't want you to sacrifice your sanity for us.
I could probably start watching the second episode, just be like, okay, I figured it out. Just not go back to the first one. But the first episode was so travesty. It was horrible. The worst.
Daryl Taylor says, Dawson, are you a fan of The Darkness and Witchblade? From what I have read, yes, I've read very limited amounts.
Witchblade is good.
Yeah, I really wanted to back they did a Kickstarter for hardcover volumes of Darkness, and I really wanted to back it, but to get all three was like $200, and I just could not do it. Witchblade, my older brother is collecting a lot of like one of the mini series of Witchblade. I can't remember which one it is, like Witchblade with a subtitle. But I love Michael Turner. Michael Turner is, for me, one of, if not my favorite. Like, he was the artist that got me into comics, honestly. Reading the book that he did with Jeff Loeb, Superman, Batman, where Supergirl comes to Earth. Like, that was the first comic I ever read.
Are you talking about Public Enemies?
So Public Enemies was the arc before that. So that was the first like 7 issues, I think, or first 6. And then after that, it was Michael Turner that took over for the art after Ed McGuinness. And with that, they had the story arc where Supergirl comes to Earth and then Darkseid takes her. Yeah. Well, like they included in the Public Enemies movie, but like that wasn't anyway. Yeah, it was the Supergirl arc. That first book where she comes to Earth was the first comic I ever read. And so Michael Turner was one of those I always go back to. In fact, I have a couple of not sketch, but like pencil scanned covers of Michael Turner. Like he did a Joker one for Suicide, or that they put on a Suicide Squad comic. And then he did a Darth Maul sketch that they put on a Darth Maul comic. Yeah. So Witchblade and Darkness are one of those two that I really want to collect more. I'm focusing on getting more of Spawn. I want to eventually get all of Spawn. I currently have about 100 issues of Spawn interspersed.
So I know you're doing a lot of independent collecting, but if you want one of the big two, I would highly recommend at least wait for the trade for Ultimate Spider-Man, the new Hickman run, and absolutely Avengers Twilight, because that's a miniseries that's coming up on its last issue. The first 2 issues I read were fucking fantastic.
Daryl Taylor, you absolutely correct.
Yeah, there it is.
Apocalypse, yes. But yeah, the Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, like that started coming out because like we realized we're gonna be moving a couple months ago, and so that started coming out. And it's like, well, I have to pull back on comics
for sure. Oh, I hear you.
Like, I will have to get the trade paperback for that at some point.
I got the last issue from William the Sci-Fi Center, the last #1 he had of the initial cover from Chiquetto. So, yeah, I read that book and I was like, okay, I'm picking this up when it hits trade because it's just too fucking good.
Nice.
Like even that first book hooked me, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna read this when it hits trade for sure.
Yeah.
But then again, Jonathan Hickman, so
Yeah. I mean,
I don't necessarily think he's a bad writer.
Yeah, very true. I do also want to eventually get all these different Marvel variant covers that Greg Capullo was doing. He just posted one of Thor that he did, which is just absolutely beautiful, that he did with FCO. Just gosh, those dang covers are so freaking good.
FCO Placencia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That dude is phenomenal.
He's Greg's primary colorist, and like that
Yep,
guy.
Yep.
If I get into comics and I have a colorist that's like a 10th as good as FCO, my gosh. Holy crap. That's going to be awesome. But FCO is...
Well, you just did that recent collaboration on your Cyclops.
Yeah, that was with a colorist named Lizzie. She is...
That turned out really good.
That was really cool. She did a lot of really cool extra stuff with the effects and everything. She's actually going to be coloring my Wolverine and Deadpool piece.
Nice.
Because I had digitally colored it and inked it. It felt too flat to me and it felt too lifeless. And so I went in and inked it traditionally. And so she's going to color that for me, and she has some fun ideas with it. So we're kind of testing out those waters with her style mixed with mine. Because with her stuff, she's more of a chibi artist, like chibi, cutesy, cartoonish, but her colors are really vibrant and good. So it's like that way, that way we can collaborate and that works well.
Yeah. I liked on the beam how she put like those breaks in it. It wasn't just a full solid beam. So I think that really added to the effect of it.
Yes, she absolutely killed it with that for sure. And then the smoke she had in front of the back leg, like just a lot of good stuff going on there. So hopefully that ends up being something where, I can just pass it off, because I'm okay with coloring. I'm fine with it. It's not my specialty. And so if I can hand it off to someone who specializes in that, I'm going to do it. But
I think I hope I don't step on anybody's toes or anything like that, but I think your strength right now is penciling. I think your pencil work is the best.
I would second that personally.
Yeah, my penciling is my most confident area. I'm trying to get more confident with inking with a quill and with a actual inking brush.
Yeah, I saw one of your videos. You had a quill, and you said you really liked the sound of it or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah,
makes sense.
But I'm trying to get more to like brushes to get it more organic and everything. But yeah, penciling definitely where I'm most comfortable. I'm going to be doing another Spawn piece sometime soon where he's like standing on a gargoyle. I'm going to like explore those pencils a little bit. But yeah, fun stuff.
You got this.
Woohoo. Just finding the pose is the difficult part that I want to reference or try to figure
like
out.
I told you before, if you keep doing blank covers, you really need to look into what it takes to be able to submit your stuff to have it CGC'd or CBCS, so you can get it graded and encapsulized and then start selling them.
Well, I do have
some artists who do that. That's one of their primary revenues is they get blank covers, then they do, whether it's commissions or do like whatever their ideas.
Yeah.
And then they submit it to CGC, and you get an actual yellow label. It's not like you get like the green label or the purple one, meaning you've altered the book. So you would get a standard gold label signed by the artist, and it has your name up in the tag, so to speak. Whether this is great, it's a 9.8. The artist is
DJW Art.
Yeah.
Well, one fun thing that nice. One fun thing that I did is there's this guy, he has a company called Gator Guard Comics, and he makes these cases. So kind of like they're graded, and he can put your symbol on the corner.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I might do a bit of that.
Oh, you do have a symbol. That's right. Yeah, I forgot.
My signature logo there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I might be doing a bit more of that, because like similar effect, like obviously it doesn't have the grade, which would be really cool.
But still, I mean, having
that case makes it professional. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll explore that a little bit more for sure. But that's the plan anyway. I got a couple of blanks I still need to do. I did one for a customer earlier today. In fact, it's actually in something, but I have a couple other blanks I'm going to do. I got Deadpool and Old Man Wolverine. I got a regular Wolverine. And I got a King Spawn that I think I'm going to do a Cygor on, which I think would be really cool. I got a blank.
Got to do something with it eventually.
Ooh, nice. Speaking of action, okay, now I'm going to bring it out. I don't care if it's going to. Okay. So I finished this, and I'll give it to the customer later this year at a con.
It's in a safe, within a safe.
Safe within a safe. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's elaborate.
Yeah, Black Suit Superman.
That's nice.
Yeah, you sent us that earlier.
I did. But yeah, so
Andre forgot to pass it on to me, so I didn't. Yeah,
Well, Andre gets to pass on a lot of things.
Andre. What are we gonna do with him?
Great question.
Anyway. Oh, are any of you guys, speaking of anime, any of you guys into Gundam?
Not really. No. That was
Just Gundam style.
So this is a commission I did for someone. This is what's called a Big Zam from Gundam.
Mm.
Yeah, so I did the inks for that, and I digitally colored it and added some stuff to it. So I'm going to send him this once that transaction is complete. But yeah, fun stuff. I also did a this is one I did before I started using more cool inking techniques. Good old female Green Lantern.
Man.
Someone wanted.
Okay.
Not really.
Yeah. So that was fun. That's another one I actually got to take to a comic shop to drop it off to him tomorrow. But anyway, fun stuff. Anyway, that pretty much brings us to the end of our topics. We kind of scrambled to find some other topics to talk about, even though it's fun. I like talking about just random stuff that comes to mind. That was pretty fun. Love that.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But with that,
talking.
yeah, the gift of gab. The gift of gab.
Gift of gab.
But as always, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in, listening to us.
Always.
Our gift of gab. Be sure to go check out everybody on social media, including Nerd Costa Nostra here. We don't have his, I guess he has the tag right there underneath.
There it is, right there.
Want to follow him? We also got, again, DJWArt.com for all different prints and such. Be sure to go check out Zeeverfett on TeePublic. Got a lot of cool shirts. Putting out a new comic that he's been working on. A bunch of different posts he's been posting on Instagram.
Actually had to add 2 more pages to it.
Jeez.
I felt like it didn't end. It ended in a hospital scene. I was like, it's kind of anticlimactic.
Hey man, you got to do what you think is best, right?
Yeah, because I like this for me. Even though like it's the first episode, I don't think anybody will care about it. Because I mean, who knows me, right? But I was like, you know what? 30 years from now, somebody sees it. I want it to end, as best as I can. So I added 2 more pages, and that's what I was drawing here. So I was like, okay, I need to have something that sort of ends on a fantastic cliffhanger.
There you go.
Nice. That's what we always got to do, right? Lead into the next segment for sure. But with that, guys, I'm gonna go and eat some more pizza, and we hope that you all have a great rest of your night.